welcome back to part 3 of my Let's Build a Swiss Children's Area. And I have to say, please forgive me for this horrible noise that you may or may not hear behind me. They are taking down Mannheim's old post office just by the station and replacing it with what I don't know, but I'm not sad to see it go because it was quite an ugly building. I digress. Welcome to part 3, where I am continuing to build timber frame houses, and I hope you're not noticing a repetition in these videos because, I'm just trying to talk and talk about the same building all the time. But in this episode you will see more buildings being built, surprise surprise, huh? And you will see... that's about it. Oh, but one thing you can see is the different roof that I created, and I'm going to make more houses with this sort of hatched style roof, because I think it looks pretty cool. I might reverse it and make a sort of barn-like roof too. We'll see about that. I don't know, but at this stage everything is just incredibly experimental, and I still have to continue thinking about how the roller coaster will be interacting with these buildings. At the moment, you can just see here, it just like sort of uncomfortably goes in front. I might have to put a wooden support there just to make it a bit more realistic, but I'm not gonna get too in depth about roller coasters because there's only 2 of them, and I'm pretty sure if more are available, I would be using another one. I'd probably be using something like in the one in Disneyland, like the mining runaway mine train. That is something that would be really great for this. Something with a wooden stilts, a wooden roller coaster, because metal roller coasters doesn't make too much sense. I have also thought about adding a loop in there, but do children's coasters have loops? I think maybe 1 or 2, maybe sometimes. It depends. I think in the United States they probably do. In England, every kiddie coaster I have ever seen has been utterly dreadful. Like, in my mind, the way I see a kiddie coaster is like something out of Legoland. I don't know if any of you have been to Legoland. It's much more a theme park for very small children. I think it's there. I went there with some friends and their children, and the children seemed to have a lot of fun. But it was quite dull. I have to admit it was quite dull. And I remember they have this dragon roller coaster. And in fact, I've been to 2 Legolands. I've been to one in Windsor, in London, near London, and I've been to one in the south of Germany. And they are both as boring as each other, and they both have this boring dragon roller coaster that doesn't do very much except just go from a sort of around a castle. So, if anything, this children's coaster is inspired by that roller coaster. Except with the castle, it's not going around a castle, it's going around timber frame Swiss-style houses, because the person who built this park obviously has a huge fetish for architecture, because I couldn't imagine people actually building it that realistic in a theme park. Except for Disneyland. Disneyland is like probably the only theme park I can think of that really pushes it to another level with how it looks. I know many people always bring up other theme parks and blah blah blah, but this and that and this and that, and like nope, because that's a rip-off of Disney. Oh, that's a rip-off of Disney. I always find rip-offs of Disney in every other theme park. I don't know, maybe you could talk to me about that, leave me a message about what you think about, other parks ripping off each other, because I do know of almost nearly every park rips off, if they have a decent haunted house, they rip off the Haunted Mansion. There's no question about it. Like, half of them just, they have the mirror scene when you pass the mirrors and the ghosts are behind you. They have the big elevator scene when the room stretches, and like, they literally just steal everything. And because in other countries with a language barrier, they don't notice it. And I think, of course, they can't really sue Disney in other countries, really, because it doesn't make sense. Anyway, I digress again. And if you had noticed that I'm also ripping off Disney in many of my attributes in my park, so there's nothing wrong with that necessarily. They're only copying Disney and stuff because it's so good. That's what I tend to think. Imitation's the most sincere form of flattery. And this is what I have been doing with inspiration in my park. It's very much inspired by Alton Towers and Disneyland, but the more I build it, the less I feel it is looking like any of those places. I'm still thinking of ideas for my next park, which I said would probably be based around cities and stuff, but maybe something just more closely resembling Alton Towers would be a bit better, I don't know. Leave me a comment about what you think I should be building next in Planet Coaster, which will be happening once the update happens. I think I've mentioned this in several other videos. The update is coming in less than a month, I think. Don't quote me on that. and then hopefully there will be more interesting things to do, like more roller coasters. In fact, hopefully the whole package of roller coasters will be available, and finally things like wooden roller coasters and mining roller coasters, and you know, what was that one in Roller Coaster Tycoon, like the children's one, like the caterpillar one. That's what I would build here, either a wooden roller coaster or a caterpillar roller coaster, because this roller coaster is a bit too, it looks like a good one. Like, you know, you could make a nice corkscrew out of it or something or other, and this and that. And I say this and that a lot because I say that because I can't really think of anything else to say, pretty much. So if you guys have any sort of questions or input or advice or anything, or any sort of suggestions or anything at all, leave me a comment, because I appreciate everyone, and I don't know if I always respond to everyone. I really try, but like sometimes YouTube doesn't tell me that I have a message, or that I can't find it when I click on it, and god, you know, you guys who make YouTube videos can probably understand how that works. So I'm going to go now, and I'll see you in the next part, which will be part 4. And hopefully more things will be completed by then, and if not, then I will make an episode anyway. So I will see you then. Oh hey, thanks for watching all the video. If you want more, click here in one of these boxes or something, and don't forget to subscribe if you want.